Ladies and gents, greetings. Happy New Year and welcome to the First Light Cloud Exchange webinar series. In this series, we would like to discuss basic IT tips, strategies, and security measures you can implement to better your business infrastructure. Cybersecurity continues to be a major issue, and it's getting worse day by day. So we would like to, in this episode, we would like to discuss three basic tips that you can implement today, as well as three critical IT security protocols you should consider. So let's start with the three basic tips. First one would be password. Yeah, password. Password is the very first and very basic security protocol in the IT environment. You want to make sure you have a fairly complex password. You don't want to make it simple and easy for the bad guys to take advantage of. So number one, have a password that is at least in 8 to 12 characters in length. It should include a lowercase, uppercase, numbers, and special characters such as hashtag, $, etc. Also, do not use the same password for all your websites, because even if you have a good one, and if that gets compromised, now the bad guys have the key to your kingdom and you're in trouble. So when designing a password, you may even consider something as clever as a small sentence such as extra sauce, extra cheese, hashtag 2019, things like that. You can get creative. Also, you want to change that password periodically, at least once every couple of months. If it all sounds a little bit too complicated and you'd rather deal with a password manager, there are many options available on site. LastPass is a good option. You can get free membership, or for business environment, you can start at as low as $4 per month. Second point would be email. We all get a lot of emails. If you're anyone like me, you probably get hundreds of emails every day in your inbox. Now, 90% of the ransomware attacks come through email. A couple of key things about ransomware and email that has potential ransomware attached to it is it always has an attachment, and it always asks you to click on that attachment. It may have a PDF, Word, Excel attachment, and it will ask you to review a document or approve an invoice, things of that nature. First thing you want to look out for is the domain in that email address. Is it a domain you recognize? Let me give you an example. For example, First Light Cloud Exchange is our company name, and our domain name is fcxnyc.com. So if my colleague Tiffany sends me an email, her email would read tiffany.jimenez@fcxnyc.com. Now, if you look closely, it might not say fcxnyc.com. It will have the same name, tiffany.jimenez, but at abc123.company.org or something weird of that nature. That's your first clue. So, and then if Tiffany's asking you to click on something to review, you know for sure that that's potentially a ransomware email. Do not click on it. Do not click any attachment. Also, do not forward that email to anyone else within your organization. Delete it immediately. Now, that's an example of someone from within your environment or a trusted name. Now, you may also get emails from outside vendors, let's say Microsoft. Microsoft is sending you an email asking you to change your password or keep your password. Again, look at that email domain very closely. Does it say Microsoft? No. It says Macrosoft or Microsoft or something. Your eyes don't catch it, but your brain is tricked into thinking that it is coming from Microsoft because it also has the Microsoft logo on it. So the bad guys are very clever. They're counting on you to not look very closely at the email address and believing that the logo is there, so it's a legit email, and they're counting on you to click that email. Do not do that. And the reason you do not want to send that or forward that email to anyone within your organization is because Now, if you forward it to Joe, Joe is seeing an email coming from you, and you're a trusted source. So without thinking any further, Joe might click on that link, and boom, you have a ransomware email, a ransomware attack, I mean. For email protection, you may also want to consider should consider training your entire staff on basic IT hygiene, the do's and don'ts. There are many options available online, free ones. We also have some on our website. You may want to check out our website at www.fcxnyc.com. And many of these trainings come with quizzes. So you may want to throw a promotion once a month that whoever scores the highest gets a $10 Starbucks gift card, things like that. Next thing you know, everybody's taking those trainings and trying to score the highest in the quiz just so they can win the gift card. And you have, as a result, you have a very, very protected network. Okay. Second portion I would like to go into now, that would be 3 critical IT protocol you should consider and implement today. But before that, I would like to say that you want to always consider a cloud-based service provider. Cloud-based service providers are typically managed service providers or managed security service providers. They have security operations centers spread out throughout the country, geodiverse locations, and in many cases throughout the world. So they always have fully redundant, fail-safe infrastructure that is always giving you maximum uptime. And also these security operations centers or SOCs are staffed with IT engineers, security professionals that are monitoring and managing every endpoint and in your network 24/7, 365. Eyes on the glass all the time. Something a small mom and pop IT shop simply cannot deliver. They're usually open, let's call a spade a spade. Their business hours are until 6 o'clock, and then after that, it's a best effort case, correct? Not so with a cloud-based service provider. They're on 24/7, 365. They're never closed. That being said, what are the 3 practical IT solutions you should consider and implement today? Well, let's go into that. First one would be a next-gen antivirus and managed firewall. You're familiar with the firewall. Only difference is this is cloud-based and it is managed in real time. This is your first sentry at the gate. This controls all incoming and outgoing traffic. It makes sure that nothing bad gets in. Also, it protects your environment from within. So a bad actor cannot send any sensitive document out without authorization or even reach any websites that they're not supposed to. Second service would be managed detection and remediation, or MDR. Managed detection and remediation is a service that is meant for all the endpoints. The endpoints are your desktop, laptop, server, switch, routers, etc. That agent is installed at each endpoint to protect that particular endpoint. Now, you may be wondering, if you have a managed firewall, why would you need MDR service for each individual endpoint? Well, that's a great question. Remember, most of the breaches, 80% of the breaches happen due to human error. What could be a human error, you may be wondering? Well, let's say you have a new hire, or maybe there's a guest that came into your office and he just wanted to charge his smartphone. So he plugged it into a desktop computer. That smartphone probably had a malware and it spread. If that desktop had an MDR agent installed on it, it would immediately recognize that bad malware and isolate and quarantine that particular desktop. You would get a notification immediately that something bad has happened to that computer number 26, and necessary precautions are being taken, and it will be cleaned up. So it stops any further spread. So MDR is a very crucial service you want to consider. And the third one would be server. We all have servers. If you have an on-premise server, you may want to consider migrating it into the cloud. You may already have a server that is coming end of life, or it may have an operating system that is already end of life. Your options are either buy a new server, managing it in-house, or go to a managed service provider and have them build a server. What's the difference? Well, big differences. First of all, if you were to manage your own server or buy or manage your own server, you're looking at a capital expense. You have to lay out anywhere from $5,000 to $50,000. As you know, they could get very pricey or even more in many cases. A cloud-based provider will not charge you any upfront money. There's one monthly fee that includes the hardware, the software, management, and maintenance all in one monthly fee. It also alleviates all the responsibilities from your team on site, security, power, connectivity, etc. The server is located at a data center, so it has the maximum protection, maximum security. Servers are power hawks, as you already know. They take a lot of electricity. Well, not having a server on site and having it in the data center, you can eliminate that monthly cost for the added electricity. Lastly, in a data center, there are multiple fiber feeds, multiple internet connections that are giving you an always-on environment. You can also work from anywhere on any device without ever having to worry about having any downtime. So there are multiple advantages of having a server in the cloud. While we're talking about server, let me also address disaster recovery as a service. Basically, it's a backup server. So having both a primary server and backup server in the cloud gives you incredible advantage. How? Well, first of all, the primary server and the backup server are air-gapped, meaning there is no physical connection between those two servers that you're responsible for. Of course, there is a connection between those two servers, but it is built and managed by the carrier, which is extremely encrypted. It's very secured, because when the bad guys take hold of your server, they try to lock it down. What happens in that scenario is once your server is locked down, you do not have any access to all your data. And you, as you know very well, that your business cannot survive more than a couple of days without your data, right? Well, if you have a disaster recovery server in the cloud, the moment your primary server is locked down by by the bad guys, and they are trying to come into the backup server, the carrier would immediately know that intrusion. They would stop that intrusion. They will isolate that backup server, and the bad guys will not get the hold of it. And you can turn up a new server from that backup server within 30 minutes. And one other thing I did not mention about having a cloud server is scalability. You may start at a certain point, but within a couple of months or a year, your requirement may double or triple. Now, if you need to upgrade your server for more memory or space or RAM, what have you, one phone call will take care of that within 30 minutes. So there are tremendous advantages of moving your server into the cloud. Last point, let's talk about budget. These are all great, but how do we go about getting the money for implementing all these solutions? Well, it starts with a network assessment. If we can do a network assessment in your current environment today, I'm pretty sure you can find money and resources from your existing cost structure. On-premise services, hardware, software cost more money than cloud-based services. For example, let's say you have a desktop and a laptop computer. If you have security services for those two devices, most likely you're paying a separate fee for each one of those devices. Well, once you come into the cloud, you have one license. Under your license, you can have a desktop, a laptop, and maybe a tablet, 3 devices under one license, which eliminates 3 separate costs. You only have one cost. So right there, you just save yourself some money. Another big area where you can save a lot of money is telecommunication. If you still have on-premise or traditional telecom services, you really want to look into cloud-based unified communication services. They're significantly more advanced. They combine your regular telecom, video, collaboration, SMS text message, all on one platform on multiple devices. And they typically will save you anywhere from 20 to 50%. I know it's surprising, but yes, that is the difference that you can take advantage of. Another area could be used hardware. You may have hardware within your environment that are end of life, or maybe they're just collecting dust and you don't know what to do with them. Well, we have partners in our portfolio where they can buy those hardware from you and give you a check, excuse me. Give us a list of what you have. Our partner will give you a bid. If you accept that bid, they will send you a prepaid shipping label along with boxes. You box them up, send them over. Within a week, you will get a check. So there's many ways you can take advantage of what you have today and find money and resources to implement better services. First Light Cloud Exchange is a consulting firm that works with 400 different vendors, partners, managed service providers, managed security service providers. We can tailor make a solution for any requirement, and we can give you 4 or 5 different options. So engage us, give us a call, let us come in, take a look at your environment, and help you devise a solution that would improve your IT infrastructure and cybersecurity posture significantly. Thank you for tuning in.